My guest is known for her versatility and continues to impress the audience with her brave choices. Welcome to Baatein Ankahee with Huma Qureshi. Huma, welcome to Pinkvilla.
Thank you so much, Ami. Thank you.
एक सबसे डिफिकल्ट सवाल ना जो मुझे लगता है हमेशा जो लोग पूछते हैं वो है कि क्या चल रहा है. I don't know how to answer it honestly, really. If I ask you क्या चल रहा है, Huma, how do you answer it in the most authentic way?
I answer with another very equally important question. आपको कैसा लग रहा है? Which I find I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah.
कैसा लग रहा है आपको? अच्छा लग रहा है, ठीक लग रहा है.
ये बहुत प्रमोशन में पूछा जाता होगा.
हाँ यार, मतलब कैसा लग रहा है? How you feeling about it? कुछ कैरेक्टर के बारे में बताइए. तो हम just like अभी कहाँ से शुरू करूँ? Because you know, I find it so difficult in one line. ये डिस्क्राइब करने की पूरे कैरेक्टर और फिल्म के बारे में कुछ बताइए. तो आई फाइंड दैट वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो मोस्टली अनफॉर्चुनेटली आप प्रोफेशन से स्टार्ट करते हो या किसी कुछ ऐसी चीज़ से स्टार्ट करते हो जो मुझे लगता है बहुत ही गलत है. बिकॉज इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू समटाइम्स पुट एवरीथिंग इन वन लाइन. तो बट अब क्या करें, करना पड़ता है तो कर रहे हैं.
And you have to give different answers every time.
No, I get the same answer. Obviously अब भी नहीं हो सकता इतना मेहनत. मतलब हो ही नहीं सकता. हाँ, but towards the end of the day, this is the first interview for today, but by the end of the day, I'll start giving wrong answers. कैसा लग रहा है? बहुत खराब. फिल्म के बारे में बताओ, क्यों बताऊँ? जाके देख लो. तो कोई अच्छा फनी इंसिडेंट, बहुत बोर हुए हम इस पिक्चर में, कुछ फनी वनी नहीं हुआ है हमारे सेट पे, सब एक दूसरे से नफरत करते थे.
That's true. What do you answer?
No, at least we'll get some fun. We'll get laughter out of it, and at least people will wake up. But but no, I think promotions are important, and I feel like, especially like for films that are really close to your heart, like you also want to go out and tell people, and gather that kind of steam for people to sit up and take notice. Because आजकल इतनी सारी फिल्में आ रही है, इतना सारा content आ रहा है, इतनी सारी सीरीज आ रही है, like we are all spoiled for choice. कि देखें तो क्या देखें. तो I feel like sometimes one has to do all of this, to just get the word out there.
It's a very harmful question to ask as a journalist, but really does interviews help?
I hope so, man. Otherwise, चले क्या?
No, I really want to understand, because in today's day and age, when so much content is already available, so much of you has already been seen on social media. Do you think conversations really help to reach out to a more wider audience?
I'll tell you, conversations don't help. Good conversations always help. Like I don't think मैंने कभी कोई interview किसी actor का देख के बोला होगा, हाँ यार इसकी ये वाली picture देखनी है. Honestly, I don't think that happens. But yes, what happens ना audience के दिमाग में, वो आपके बारे में एक context set करता है कि इस वक्त हुमा कौन है, क्या कर रही है, क्या सोच रही है, at what is she thinking. So I think sometimes that is important as well, क्योंकि वो एक्टर को और फिल्म को आप कभी कभी सेपरेट नहीं कर सकते. लाइक दिस ना आर्ट एंड आर्टिस्ट यू कैन सेपरेट. सो समटाइम्स ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट नो कि व्हाई एम आई डूइंग अ फिल्म लाइक दिस, व्हाट एम आई थिंकिंग. तो कभी कभी वो हेल्प करता है. गुड इंटरव्यूज ऑलवेज हेल्प, बैड इंटरव्यूज हेल्प नोबडी. नाइदर द पर्सन गिविंग इट नॉट द वन टेकिंग.
That's true. That's so true. Is the art and artist, when they are not separated, harmful for the artist?
Well, it can never be, right? Like for me at least, I feel like there's like if I'm playing each and every character, of course वो जो character है वो writer director की कल्पना है, एक imagination है. But it's also me. For example, if I have to play Lady Macbeth तो शेक्सपियर साहब लिख गए जी, but वो मेरा अपना interpretation भी तो होगा ना. For example, I'm doing a film like Tarla. I am trying to get as close to as possible as Tarla ji, but it's also me, right? So it's always that how do you mold yourself into that world? So you can never really separate the two in that sense.
Yeah, very sweet film.
Thank you.
Very, very
Thank
sweet
you.
film.
Thank you.
And since I'm born and brought up in a very conservative Gujarati household, Tarla is a name which we have heard a lot. So it was quite nostalgic to see that film.
I'm so happy saying this is Gujarati. I was so nervous because I'm a North Indian. तो मेरी तो बहुत हालत खराब थी कि अगर कुछ कायपन टाइप गलत निकला तो बहुत डांट पड़ेगी. And also we were very mindful ना कि यार मेरे को ना I've seen a lot of people attempt non-Gujaratis attempt Gujarati characters, and I feel वो बहुत ही caricature कर देते हैं.
I was just thinking about that.
And if it's a sweet or light-hearted film, na, there's a tendency to go very over the top and very hammy. And we were like, we didn't want to do that because I've seen some not so good films and not so good characters. I'm like, that's a little cringe. So the idea was always to play a Gujarati, but not overtly so. Also, interestingly, Tarla ji, although was a Gujarati because she lived in Bombay, was born in Pune, she had a very Marathi way of talking. Which is so interesting. Like I am from Delhi, but I talk like a Punjabi. So it also depends on where your neighborhood, your surroundings, all of that. So for me, it was important to get that thing correctly because she's such a well-loved character.
Yeah.
And Piyush was amazing, my director, and Hital we had, who helped me with my accent. And she really, and then it was Hital's idea actually saying, because she was so used to listening to these sounds, it's like Gujarati hai, but ye baat aise kar rahi hai. Like wo salad nahi bolenge, wo salad bolenge. There's a particular way of saying certain things. So we tried to get them into my performance.
It comes across. Like you rightly said, it is not overtly Gujarati कि ऐसा लगे कि थोड़ा सा caricaturist जा रहा है. वो नहीं दिख रहा था, which is kudos to you. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. No, it's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Coming back to that art and artist question, what I meant to ask is when audience does not separate art from artist, the artist is stereotyped. And similar rules come your way all the time. Has that happened with you and does it trouble you?
It happens all the time. I've already gotten offered so many films similar to Tarla. It's the good thing is that I take out from it that the film has been loved and my performance has been loved and people are like, oh my god, Huma can also do this biopic and that character in this film. But as an actor, I feel like it's really important for me to not stereotype myself, which is what I'm really trying to do, whether it's been Tarla or a Monica or a Maharani or a XXL or whatever else I'm trying to do after this. I'm trying to play three-dimensional, real, living, breathing characters. But my rule is one, if I've done this, don't bring me something similar. I don't want to do it because I feel like I have nothing else to offer.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll do a food film immediately so soon. I don't think I'll do a character like Tarla Dalal so soon. I would want to, I may fail, I may not be like you. I might try something like, oh, Huma's not good at this, but that's fine, right? The idea is to keep trying. And fortunately or unfortunately in our profession, people only remember your last release.
Yeah.
So they tend to feel that you're open to only those kind of roles. Hence the responsibility on the artist to constantly keep being like, no, I'm going to do this and no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. But for you, in your case, I feel people still remember Mosina also very, very fondly. And I'm coming to that. But before that, I have a small surprise for you.
A surprise?
Yes. So there's someone who is very close to you and I sent a message for you.
Oh.
I usually do this very early in the segment, but since we started talking, I was enjoying it. I didn't want to stop it, but let's do it now.
Okay.
There's a small message. Let's play it?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Oh, achha, so this is not just decor, it actually works.
Yes.
Oh, what fun. So can we eat that as well and drink the chai?
Of course. Is there chai inside?
That is also not just decor.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Kya baat hai, Pinkvilla?
High budget.
High budget.
Let's do it.
Huma and me friends. You must be joking. She's not a friend, she's a chape. I'm pretty sure she must be cursing me by now, but all I can say about Huma and my friendship is that she's not a friend, she's my sister from another mister. She's actually the sister I never had because she steals all my stuff, she irritates the living daylights out of me. I turn to her for advice because sometimes by a stroke of luck, she does talk a lot of sense. But mostly she is a lot of fun, so I like having her around. I wish you didn't make me praise her so much on record because now she's going to chado on the chane ka jhaad, but I'm going to sum it up with Huma's really one of my closest and the bestest friends I've ever made. So that's it. Please yaar aur tareef mat karo.
किसकी आवाज है? कौन था ये? ऐसे familiar से लग रहा है, ऐसे I couldn't place the voice word.
Savage.
After she calls me chape, you think I'm going to be nice? Sona.
But
I'll talk to you later.
Huma, what is this friendship? I mean, I know you all worked together on XXL and you all got close, but tell me about this friendship, how it really started. I'm so happy it breaks the myth of two leading actresses cannot be friends. How passe that is, na?
It is so 91.
Correct.
Yeah, actually Sona and I don't know, somehow we just became friends and we became friends before XXL, which is why I think a film like XXL happened. But no, she's right. She's just my sister from another mother, and I don't know. I have that same level of comfort I have with Saqib that I have with her, and she, to give her credit, she does let me be my crazy self around her, and she does let me get away with murder. And I don't think, and it happens so many times with us that often we are we pitch for the same roles, or like something will come to her, then come to me, then so we have this joke also, tu kar rahi to main kar rahi hu, dimag mat kharab kar. No, but it's also so nice to have that kind of comfort with each other, and I don't think that two actresses can't be friends. I think that's a myth. If two actors can be friends, why can't two actresses be friends?
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I mean, I'm just very grateful that I have her in my life and some amazing friends, and they just make me feel so loved and just let me be me.
Yeah. What are you stealing from her?
Arey, she has rubbish clothes. What to steal from her? I have better clothes than her. No, between the two of us, I am more of a shopaholic.
Oh.
Sona is the practical, sensible one. I am the crazy one. And I think I just make her laugh and I irritate her a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that.
Yeah. Can I tell you, the first time I met you, I very categorically remember it was around the release of Ek Thi Dayan. I think it was in 2013, almost 10 years now. And I also remember you wearing like a pink outfit, and very categorically remember that conversation where, and for the lack of better vocabulary, there's a change in the way I see you are more self-assured today. Of course, experience brings this about, but what else?
I think experience and just, I don't know, I think I was very nervous when I started, and I was very unsure. Like if I'd walk into like a room like this with people sitting and I had to give answers to questions, I'd be very like self-conscious, like what should I say, how will it like come across, like so I was always like second guessing myself as opposed to just being myself. And I think it happened with, it wasn't there before Gangs of Wasseypur, it happened after, with all the media scrutiny and with all the fact that you were conscious that people were always looking at you. Like I used to be like, oh, so that kind of throws you off. So I was like, oh, maybe I should give a better answer, maybe I shouldn't laugh so loud, maybe I shouldn't like say something that is not politically correct or whatever. But now I'm just like, honestly, when I was doing that, I was not connecting with people, because you can sense, right, when you're not being honest and you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
And if you have your guards up, the other person also has their guard up. And now I'm just like, what, this is me, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
If I get into trouble, so what?
Yeah.
And I think the moment I've started doing that, I think just everything in my life has changed. I've also become more chill. I'm like, okay, I like this, and if you don't have a problem with that, then that's just your problem. So that's my attitude now.
Yeah. But were you told those days कि ऐसे जोर से मत हंसो, ऐसे बैठो?
I was told that don't sound like Miss Know-It-All.
Oh, अच्छा.
Yeah, because because I'm from Delhi and I went to a girls' college, and and I've been bachpan se told that if you have an opinion, express it. And so initially I was a bit like, maybe nahi bolna chahiye na, log upset ho jayenge, and maybe I should like be seen and look pretty and not maybe have an opinion on everything. But now I'm just like, what rubbish, like I'm going to tell people this is great, this is not great. If I have an opinion, of course I'm not disrespectful. So I think the key is if you can respectfully tell the other person, okay, this is what I'm feeling, I think it always works out okay.
Yeah. And you're right, after Gangs you were really a discovery. I still remember Govind Nilani ji also saying, compare you to Smita Patil, that she's really come out of that space. But I also remember before that there were two films that you were doing. There was one, Junction, and there was Which Didn't Happen.
Yes.
And Billa 2 you said no to because it was a long wait, if I'm not mistaken.
क्या stories निकाल के ला रहे हैं, हाँ? ये full in-depth. Junction was a film that was Atul Sabharwal was supposed to direct it, and Abhay was supposed to do it. And I remember coming to Bombay for the first time. They offered it to me. I'm like, hey, acha, okay. But that film never got made. So that's separate. And Billa 2, yes, was supposed to be my launch film. But then that did not happen. And then I didn't get to work with Ajit sir for a really long time, till very recently in Vale Mai. And I remember when the first day I walked up, he remembered and he came and he said hi, and very sweetly and very graciously, which was very nice of him. So I said, see sir, here we are. We were destined to work together just after 10 years. So sometimes good things have to wait. But no regrets. I think I could not have asked for a better launch than Gangs of Wasseypur. I think it really defined me as the actor that I am today. When I saw that film for the first time, it was at the Cannes Film Festival, and when I saw myself on that screen, and and of course you're excited because it's your first film, and you're like, oh my god, how exciting! And then I turned around and I realized that this room is full of foreigners, and they're watching this film from India, which is so culture specific. But they're enjoying it. They're laughing, they're clapping, they're really engaged, and I realized, oh, Indian cinema is so amazing. Like if we just tell our stories, with an international lens, like it really cuts across barriers. And I was like, this is what I want to do, which is why I always feel like I want to always like be in Indian films and do work here, but I also want to explore the West, and I also want, you know, to introduce people over there to our culture and our kind of films.
Yeah. You also have one of the most powerful scenes of consent in the history of Indian cinema, you know?
Well, it was the first dialogue I ever said in my life, ki permission to lena chahiye.
Yeah.
I think somebody wrote an article about it, ki Huma Qureshi's first dialogue ever was permission to lena chahiye.
Correct.
And I'm like, oh my God, like, I didn't even realize that. Now when you look back, you know, it says a lot. But at that time, we were just making a film and they said, okay, line bol.
I think you all didn't realize this back then. I mean, you all are really setting this as a statement.
No.
Really?
No, we just, I mean, honestly, मेरे को तो इतनी समझ थी भी नहीं. You know what I'm saying? It's your first film and you're just excited to be working with so many people. And we had workshopped, and Nawaz had mentioned this incident that had happened with him.
Yeah.
You know, with the girl where he tried to like be a little intimate with her, and she sort of, you know, shunned him or whatever. And we all laughed because the way he narrated was so funny and so endearing. And Anurag was like, oh, I'm going to use this in the film. And we did, thinking it is just something that's going to get laughs. And it did. And people did connect with it. But yes, it did say through that laughter something very, very important, which now a lot of films are talking about. And it's part of like popular discussion and culture. But no, at that time I realized the impact that my first dialogue ever was going to have. No.
Yeah. If you read more in between the lines, there is more to that scene where you say that मुझे green color बहुत पसंद है, हरा color बहुत पसंद है, और then you all talk about the nail polish and you say मुझे लाल भी बहुत पसंद है, and he says अभी तो green बोला और आपने बोला दोनों पसंद हो सकता है. That is also
I think you're reading too much into it.
but that is
also what does it mean?
Such an important scene that, you know, it's okay to have choice. You know, it's okay to like two things and it's not always important to choose.
Also the fact that women can choose.
Correct.
You know, and why not?
Yeah.
You know, choices are often a luxury for a lot of women. It's not something that comes easily. Some people have to fight for it. So I think, yeah, I guess in that context, for sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't think even that dialogue was scripted. Me and Nawaz just improvised that.
Wow.
Because he said, "Sab itna hara bhara hai," and you know, everyone like, so said, "Humko pasand hai hara." And then I said something about my nail polish, and that happens. But it wasn't scripted, is what I'm trying to tell you. It was just, I don't know, just very impromptu.
Yeah.
In fact, most of my scenes, and I was telling somebody that I'm actually there for 20 minutes in Gangs of Wasseypur 1 and 2 combined. Yes. I never thought, when people say, oh, how could you not know, Manika? Because it's like a 6-hour long extravaganza, 2 parts, and I'm there for 20 minutes. How was I supposed to know that it was good? So it was supposed to like catapult me into like, and people would recognize me and all of that. And I remember like, I didn't get paid much for that film.
75,000.
75,000. And so when I saw my hoarding after part 1, part 2, they put a hoarding of me. I was like, huh? I'm the heroine of this film.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? But no, it's special. I feel like we made that film with so much honesty and so much innocence.
Yeah.
And I always remember that. And Manoj Bajpayee actually said that to me when we were promoting that film. He's like, you know, remember this feeling. Your first film and the butterflies you have, and when you're going from studio to studio and promoting, you'll never get this again. Because after a point, when you become a seasoned actor, you know, it'll become like a chore, is what we were talking about earlier, right? Ki kitne interviews kiye, same sawal, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, yaar, itna same bulwate hain, ye karte, wo karte. But us time pe, you're like, they want to take my interview.
Yeah.
I remember a journalist came to my house in Delhi to do my interview from a publication. And my mother, and it was the first time a journo had come, right? So, abhi hamara middle class घर समझ नहीं आ रहा कि मतलब चाय पिलाएं कि क्या करें, lunch मतलब you don't know what the thing is, right? Like, and my mother was just coming in, going out, coming in, going out. I'm like, Mom, just let me finish this now.
Yeah.
And my mother's like, why do they want to talk to you? You know nothing.
Oh
उनको
God.
कुछ नहीं पता. मैंने कहा, shh, don't tell them. Let them not find out I don't know anything.
You earlier mentioned choice is a luxury. Was it for you while growing up?
As far as personal freedom is concerned, no. I think I had a very touchwood, like a very good upbringing, very stable upbringing. I think my parents gave me whatever they could afford. You know, my father started his when he started his business. He wasn't a very successful man, So I was born in a 1-bedroom house in Kalkaji, and my dad started Salim in 77. It was just like this little hole in the wall. It used to be a butcher's shop actually that he inherited from my grandfather, which he made into a restaurant. And slowly, we now have like 6 restaurants all over Delhi NCR. Like, then we moved to GK when I was in 7th standard. So as a family, I think we've seen all stages of wealth.
Yeah.
But I think what my father's created is a legacy. And when we were growing up, he never made us feel like we couldn't afford anything, even when we could not. You know, he always made us believe that if you just work hard, anything is possible. And I think even when me and Sake, both of us came to Bombay, we always had that thing. Okay, we may not have it today, but we can earn it. We can work hard and we can achieve whatever. So even like people talk about rejection, why I don't remember or try not to remember most of those stories, because the attitude always was, when I walk in, you might not know who I was, but when I walk out, you will remember me. And I think that's the way I just work. So so I was given a lot of choice when I was growing up, and I was made to feel that choice is not a luxury, it's my birthright.
Wow. But
क्या line बोली है मैंने यार? Birthright. I sound like a leader now suddenly. तुम्हें रखोगे ना ये? Vote for Huma. Choice is my birthright.
But it is, you know, it really is. I don't know when it becomes a discussion, or that it is not, or you have an option, or it is not a luxury, then it becomes really a context of talking. You know, it's really not. It's your birthright.
Yeah, and claim it.
Yeah, you must. The reason I asked this question is, so I assume that when you were growing up on the dinner table, when you're sitting with your family and you have 3 brothers and it's you and their parents, so your opinion is taken seriously.
Oh, 100%.
But when you come to the business, in the initial days, I'm sure there was a struggle when you gave an opinion, or was there a struggle to give an opinion?
No, earlier तो honestly I did not offer an opinion, because जब तक आपको कुछ पता नहीं है तो मतलब सीखो ना पहले, मतलब इसके, I mean that's the other problem of it ना, मतलब just because everybody has an opinion, that's the other problem. But I'm saying I feel first learn, educate yourself, learn na. If you're giving an opinion, it should come from a place of knowing something, or an opinion could be if you're uncomfortable doing something, you can express it. Right? So I've always expressed myself, and even today, like if you're doing a scene or approaching a character, or there's so many multiple choices, you always express an opinion, but you also listen to people.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not always right. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just because you have an opinion doesn't make it true. But yeah, the idea is to work with people who validate what you're feeling, who validate your thinking. ठीक है?
Did that happen? Were your opinions taken?
I think mostly. Yeah.
Is there
a context to which you're asking this?
No, in the sense, what I have also generally realized, or what I've also spoken to many artists also, I've realized in the initial days when you are very insecure as an artist also, because you're seeing yourself on screen, you also have certain opinions of how you want to be seen, how you want to be looked, how you want to be portrayed as a character. Sometimes when you go to the director and say, hey, I want this, usually the directors, and it has happened with a lot of actresses, that they shun the opinion.
Yeah, I'll tell you the difference, okay? If your opinion is coming from a place of fear, or a place of insecurity, or a place of vanity, then actually it's probably not a good idea that opinion is being taken. See, I'm not saying vanity is bad, okay?
Correct.
But I'm saying self-obsession is, right? Because what ultimately you're doing, it doesn't matter if I'm looking like the most gorgeous girl in the room. But if I'm doing a terrible scene, then you don't care about how I look,
That's
right?
also true.
So ultimately, for me, it's always about the film working, the scene working, the moment working. So if I'm only going to be worried about, don't shoot me from this profile because this is not favorable, but it's not helping the scene, right? And I feel like with women especially, there's always this undue pressure to just always look beautiful.
That's also true.
And not worry about how you can act or what you bring to the table. And I find that very limiting.
Yeah.
So I'm saying any opinion that comes from a place of any kind of fear is wrong. But yeah, if I'm supposed to look like a supermodel and I'm supposed to look like this glam doll, and then there's something, then that's completely fine, because that's what your objective is. You know, but like for example, if I'm doing a song with Sanjay sir, then I'm supposed to look a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, then that is what the vision is. But if I'm doing a Maharani, then I'm supposed to look like a gaon ki aurat who's now a politician, and I'm not supposed to worry about like, oh, is my sindoor correct, or like this pleat has to be correct. No, she's just gonna wear it and she's gonna go. And with that, when that kind of thing, that confidence or that thing comes in your body, So yeah, so no, everybody should express opinions, but I feel like just because you have an opinion, it's not always right. And I think actors ultimately are also like, our job is to work correctly with the entire unit to put some kind of vision together, right? Like ultimately it's about the films working. Like that for me is the most important thing. Otherwise for vanity, Instagram is there now. Correct?
Yeah. How refreshing is that you say that?
Thank you. No, but I am vain. I'm not saying I'm not vain. Like I never look at the monitor when I'm working. Yeah, because I
Even
feel,
today?
Even today. Like when I did Tarla, I didn't see the monitor because I knew if I'll see it, I'll be like, you know, because it's not me.
Yeah.
Tarla's not me. It doesn't even look like me. She doesn't move like me. I had to like, the weight, all of that, the sari, you know, like it's sometimes it can be like, So I wouldn't look, I would never look at the monitor. Like you always know as an actor if you've done a shot well, or the director's always there to tell you, we can do one more, and that's fine. But I don't want to look at myself because I feel like sometimes you're a person, na? Sometimes you can watch something and get thrown off. So I rather see the final film and be like, oh, actually, well done. Like that makes sense now.
Yeah. This is exciting. I want to understand your process. So just imagine I am on your film set.
पैसे लगेंगे ऐसे अंडरस्टैंड योर प्रोसेस फ्री में बता दूंगी तो सब कॉपी करेंगे मेरा प्रोसेस इसी का तो खाती हूँ मैं दिस इज माय ब्रेड एंड बटर ब्रो आई कांट टेल यू माय एंटायर प्रोसेस
but I just want to understand, I'm a fly on the wall. Huma is getting ready for a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. The director is prepping up the whole scene, and minutes before he calls you in front of the camera, what is Huma Qureshi doing?
Yeah, so my brother said this. We were doing a film that he was my producer on set, and he's like, you know, you are a very badmash actor. So I said, why? What did I do? So I thought I had done something wrong. Like, and on set, I always treat him like my producer, not like my younger brother. So I'm like, why? What did I do wrong? He said, you know, you are like doing ha ha he he hoo hoo, and then before action, you will get in the zone. But bichare baki log around you are like still figuring it out. So don't throw my other actors off. So I said, okay, I'm sorry. Like, okay, guilty as charged. No, I am a very switch on, switch off actor. I don't believe in this method and being brooding and torturing everybody else around you. Nahi. Get in, get out, do your lines, be happy, go home, take your makeup off, be a normal person. Mummy se daant khao. ये सब करो. Like I am that person. I don't this method मेरे को समझ नहीं आता है. I feel you can do a good performance without being an annoying pest to yourself and to other people around you.
Yeah. In the initial days, there was this, you spoke about this in an interview recently where you said the film reviewer wrote 5 kg too heavy to be a mainstream heroine.
Which reviewer?
I don't know. I really don't know. But you can tell me that. You can tell me that. But you know, when I saw that, honestly, I paused that interview, and for a second I tried to digest that. कि अगर ये मुझे कोई बोलता, तो it is hard to take. It is really hard to,
especially starting your career.
Correct. It is not an easy statement to say, you know, and a reviewer is not supposed to comment on these things. They're supposed to comment
but that's
on
the whole problem, na? People are not reviewing films. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but like people are just being slanderous. They are just trying to put people down. It's getting very personal. Review a film. You don't like a film, no problem.
Yeah.
It's your choice, absolutely. But why do people get into like personal attacks and like, and it happens a lot, not just with me, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this will know exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. There is no need to slander somebody. There's no need to personally attack someone. You don't like a film, you have every right to write a bad review. You have every right not to watch the film. But there's no need to be personal. We can have certain ethics, no, when we're also reviewing films. And I feel like just because it's clickbait, so you just think it's anything goes, and just because nobody can come and like catch hold of you and say, hey, how do you, or call you out, you think you can get away with it. But that's not cool. And I think the onus is on the reviewers to also take responsibility for it. Like if you're talking about like, you know, the responsibility being on the actors of the film business to like make better films, it's also about you, right? Like it's an ecosystem. Yeah.
Comments like these make someone feel question their self-worth. Did that happen with you?
Yes, it did happen with me. I've said this, I think, in an interview just recently. In fact, I said, you know, like when I was in Delhi, I was very confident. I was this Delhi girl, theatre, Gargi College. I had a lot of like, you know, I would just walk in and I'd be like super confident. And I think with that confidence, I came to Bombay. With that confidence, I got like all the ads that I did. You know, I would just go take my bag, go to some studio in Aramnagar, do an audition. And you know, I started getting callbacks for like work. And that's how I got my first film, Gangs of Wasseypur, and all the other subsequent work. But after your first film releases and then you have that initial burst of excitement and like, oh my god, like everyone likes me and they want to work with me and I'm getting callbacks and I'm getting cast. Then I don't know, somehow maybe that's how natural order of things is. But then when I started hearing these kind of comments and like, I went into a bit of a thing, I think, which is also a reason why I think after that big pop of mine, I was also a bit confused, right? Because the only way as an actor for you to know if what you're doing is right or not is by listening to these kind of comments or the feedback that you get. And I thought like there was something terribly wrong with me. Yeah. And then I had to change myself. And you know, again,
that's actually my question. Did you feel to take that comment seriously?
Yes.
That's stressful.
I'm human, na?
Yeah.
I'm also a person. Like if I keep calling you something every day, it will affect you at some point in time. And I feel it did affect me. And how it affected me, it made me fearful of taking certain roles and certain choices, which I think I should have. But I only didn't do it because I was so fearful. Like the work I'm doing right now, I wish I had the sense, the courage, or I don't know, the clarity to do it back then. I would have just saved myself a lot of trouble and a lot of like just, but I think again, like that is also important because to reach here, I had to go through that. Yeah. You know, you have to go through sometimes certain things to have a kind of a clarity.
Yeah. Do you still read reviews?
Of course I read reviews. Of course I read reviews.
And take it seriously?
Do
you still take those comments sometimes? I'm sure, I don't know if people still write something like that in reviews, but...
Of course they do. I'll send you some. Also video reviews.
And then
they don't just write it, they say it. It's got their face to it as well. So you always have it on record.
Does that still affect you?
Of course it affects you. Of course it affects you. Right? But because of course आपकी picture आती है तो you know आप wait करते हो कि reviews आएंगे, लोग को क्या लगता है, blah blah blah. Thanks to like social media, of course, like you also know what people are thinking about it. Because if some random person suddenly, you know, is tweeting about it or tagging you on Instagram or whatever and writing something, so you do know that this person sitting in Ranchi or wherever, you know, is genuinely like feeling for your film, and you can always tell when it's genuine, when it's not. But also I feel like with certain reviews, you just feel like they come from a certain place of bias because they're also human and they also have their personal biases. So you just take it with a pinch of salt and you move on, because ultimately what matters is just, you know, this how you do a project and just audiences love, I guess. Yeah.
What does a project like Maharani does for you?
Everything. Maharani changed my life. It really changed my life, and I think I'm so grateful to Subhash Kapoor and his entire team and Sony Liv for like giving me that show and just believing in me, and it just keeps getting better. I'm about to start season 3 in a few days, and it's really exciting.
So exciting.
It is very, and it was a brave choice when I made it. Somebody asked me, a friend of mine, like, were you scared? Because it's this D-glam, 3 bachon ki maa, like the moment, like somebody asked me also, like, are you sure? Because, you know, the moment an actress would do that, it means her career is over. Yeah. You know, people trying to make a comeback or something and you're still here working and why are you picking characters like this? Maine kaha, because I don't want to, after 10 years, do it, because then you're like, oh, dekha, ab to kaam nahi hai na iske paas. Maine kaha, but aise, this is such a wrong mindset to have. Yeah. Because such a great character. All the love I've got, all the films that I'm doing, the fact that now I can carry a whole film on my shoulders and like, you know, people think I can do that is because of a show like Maharani and for the love that I've got for it. Yeah.
Does it give you the confidence to talk about pay parity? And call it out when it doesn't happen?
It does. I do talk about pay parity. I would like to get paid as much as my male counterparts, but I don't.
How far are we in the business or in the future that does happen?
I don't know. I hope it happens sooner. I know all of us are talking about it, but it's not happening right now.
Yeah, it is not. But I also believe when you call 2 actors, lead actors, then they should also be paid equally, right?
Chalo, I'm saying, forget theatrical. What about streamer service? What is the reason not to pay to
it doesn't
actors?
Happen on OTT also?
No, it doesn't.
Have you ever gone up to a producer and said, listen?
I have.
And what happened?
अभी तू गॉसिप निकल रहा है अभी तू बोल रहा है कुछ मुझे हेडलाइन दे
मुझे नाम नहीं
अभी तेरा मुंह वाला है
no
but I'm telling you we're very far from it. I mean we all are asking for it. It's not happening. That's my answer. But now you're just behaving like a
no, I'm not really. I'm also not asking, don't tell me the film, don't tell me the producer. I just want to know what did the producer say.
See, I'll just no. Of course, nobody will say it. I'm not paying you because you're a woman. Nobody's that whatever. But it just doesn't happen, right? See, for example, it's a bias. कोई भी इंसान ऐसा नहीं होता कि आपको ऐसे directly कोई कुछ बोलता है. But it just doesn't happen. Say, for example, if I were to do, and because it's something that I spoke about recently as well. If I were to do an action film and a male hero, same stature, same body of work, box office, whatever, also to do an action film, he'll just get a bigger budget for his film only because he's a guy. You know, because there's this whole conventional wisdom that लड़कियों पे action picture नहीं चलती है, but बनती कितनी है?
Yeah.
You know, it's a very like different kind of a comparison.
Yeah.
So that's a fact, and this is a bias that we have to fight against and live with, and you know, but we have to keep talking about it because that's
Correct.
how it'll change, and it'll take. One day it'll happen, and then you know, hopefully we'll all follow suit.
That's the purpose of this question. I really don't want to know the producer. You can tell me off the camera though.
No, it's not one particular person. That's in general.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I get what you're trying to say. Do you want to do an action film?
I would love to do an action film.
Tell me about it. What dream do you have? What vision do you have?
I'll make it and I'll show you.
I'll wait.
Then we'll talk.
I'll wait for that. Writing a book or written a book?
Yes.
Tell me about this. It's a superhero film. A superhero book.
It's end of the year. HarperCollins is publishing it. It's my COVID baby. So yeah, this is what I was working on during COVID, and yeah, very excited about it. Soon we'll make an announcement, like an official one. Then I would love to chat with you more about it.
Yeah.
But it's it's just something I'm super excited about and very nervous about because I feel as an actor, हम लोग छुप जाते हैं ना डायरेक्टर के पीछे, राइटर्स के पीछे कि अरे आपने जो बोला हमने कर दिया. But I feel writing is one of the most like honest self-expressions, and it makes you really vulnerable because I'm like, if it doesn't work, then you don't like the way I think. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Is this a creative need to do many other things just to let that creativity out?
I think so. Like I said, it's a COVID baby, right? So like I didn't have anything to do. We all were stuck, and I feel like I had this idea and I wanted to do something with it, and this just felt like the most natural way to express myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I like to keep doing something to just keep myself excited and keep the artistic juices flowing.
What are the other things you want to do?
Fly planes.
Really?
I would love to learn how to fly a plane. I just have
wow.
to find, I have to just get down to actually doing it. But that would be quite exciting.
Oh wow, how exciting.
Yeah. I mean, the closest I've been, I do love adventure sports a lot. Like I did skydiving in 2020 because I had this thing. I was like, the world is coming to an end, might as well jump off of plane. Because I was so scared of doing it now. So I'm just like, if the world is going to come to an end, this is a better way to go out. That sounds like a terrible thing to say.
You recently said in an interview, I'm constantly looking for the next cool thing to do. Define cool for you?
Something that I've just not done before. So I'll tell you, I have a terrible fear. I find myself a little boring and very like...
boring?
Yeah, I feel like I look at other people, I'm like, people have so many like cool skills. Somebody can sing, somebody can play the guitar. Like, you know, I find like, especially like actors and artists, like I feel like, you know, like, and I find myself so boring. I was like, I'm not as cool as all the other cool kids. So I always want to like keep doing something, to keep teaching myself something new to do. So anything new is exciting for me.
So what are the cool things you're doing from work-wise in the future? What is next that you're shooting for?
I have a bunch of films ready for release. One is a film that I've also produced called Single Salma, which will be out later this year. Then another film with Maddock called Pooja Meri Jaan. Then Maharani season 3 starts, and then...
Yeah. Is there a scope to do a prequel or some world of Monica? We should, na?
मैं वासन बाला आपके चैनल के माध्यम से मैं श्री वासन बाला जी से ये विनती करना चाहती हूँ. मैं बोल के थक गई हूँ. मैं कहा प्लीज कर लो मोनिका का स्पिन ऑफ.
There is, na?
We must put some pressure on Netflix to make this happen.
Yeah, my favorite character.
Thank you so much. It's been one of my favorite characters too. I had so much fun with Monica.
Sassy and savage.
Thank you. Yeah. That's me.
That's a perfect note to end also. I mean, that's how you should be. Thank you so much, Huma. Thank you so much for this conversation. I had a great time. I hope you had too.
I had a great time. I think I've given you enough fodder.
You have. You have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, this is Huma Qureshi. If you like this interview, please like, share and subscribe this channel. And also, if you like it, then I get 10% from Pinkvilla for this interview.